Today's video, we'll going through some of the hadiths that will inshallah give us a good idea about the coming of the Mahdi. Welcome to this channel. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I will be making a lot of videos talking about the coming of the Mahdi in the coming days. Again, if you're new here, consider subscribing. Rasulullah SAW, he mentioned one of the major signs of the coming of the Mahdi, not the major sign of the Day of Judgment, but the major sign of the coming of the Mahdi, is that this earth will be filled with zawran wa zulm. So if you see any oppression and inequality and injustice, then it is a sign for you and for every one of us that the coming of the Mahdi is near. So if you take a look around what is happening right now, you will find, unfortunately, that in a lot of countries, Muslims are being persecuted, and especially the minority Muslims living in a majority non-Muslim country are facing a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, and their rights are being taken away. To give you an example of what is happening, let's say in Kashmir, in India, the Muslims there, the right of citizenship has been taken away. So this is just one example. You have also example of Israel, what is happening with the Palestinian brothers and sisters. The Palestinians are not even given their basic rights. What is happening right now in Yemen, what is happening in Syria, the Syrian, especially the Idlib province, we are seeing what is happening there. It's very unfortunate. So these are all signs of the event that will, or the things that will happen before the coming of the Mahdi. So again, when we talk about the coming of the Mahdi, the biggest sign is going to be that the earth will be filled with zawran wa zulm, as Rasulullah SAW mentioned in a hadith, al-Mahdi minni, that Mahdi is from me, ajil al-jabhati, that he will have a broad forehead, akunal anfi yamlu al-ard kistal wal adl, that he will have a sharp nose and he will fill the earth with kist and adl, justice and equity, kama muliyat zawran wa zulm, just like as it was filled with tyranny and oppression. So is it that we are seeing those things? According to my understanding, that type of oppression and tyranny did not happen yet. It will have to have a significant impact on the lives of the Muslims all over the world. What I'm trying to tell you is that the majority of the Muslims right now, they are not suffering. Okay, it's a minority Muslims who are living in a country. I mean, still the number is huge, but the point is that they are not we are around like 1.7 billion people. So in other words, most of us, the Muslims, are not suffering. Okay, it's the unfortunate millions of Muslims who are suffering, but not the billions. So the majority of the Muslims are still not feeling the heat of this hadith, because when Rasulullah said that he will come at a time when the earth will be filled with injustice and inequality and tyranny and oppression, it is something of a grand scale, right? It cannot be having some kind of problem here and some kind of other problem there. It's not. This is not what it means. You will see this kind of tyranny and oppression all over the world against the Muslims. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he also mentioned yamliku sab'a sinin, that Imam Mahdi, he will be ruling the world for 7 years. In other narrations, it says that he will be ruling the world for 7 to 9 years. So it depends. It can be 7 years. If Rasulullah mentioned that if it is going to be the lowest of the number, then it will be 7. If it is the highest of the number, it will be the 9 years. We also find, dear brothers and sisters, hadith about the end of time, the coming of Mahdi, when Rasulullah SAW, he mentioned al-zulmu zulumat yawm al-qiyamati, that oppression will appear as a darkness on the day of judgment. So the oppression and injustice that we talk about, these things are very serious in nature. Okay, and especially in our religion, if you're doing any kind of zulm, if you're doing any kind of oppression and injustice to anybody, Muslims, non-Muslims, doesn't matter, it will have severe and serious consequences. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned also about the end of time, that وَنِسَاءٌ كَاسِيَةٌ آرِيَةٌ مُومِلَةٌ مَائِلَةٌ, that woman, before the end of time, the woman, they will be wearing dress, but yet they will be naked. SubhanAllah, if you look at social media or TV or everywhere, you will see this thing happening all the time. This is like non-stop. This thing is guaranteed. Wherever you go, whether you're living in a Muslim country, even non-Muslim country, you will see this hadith coming true. وَنِسَاءٌ كَاسِيَةٌ آرِيَةٌ مُومِلَةٌ مَائِلَةٌ, that woman will be dressed yet naked. And this is one of the signs of the coming of the Qiyamah, and also can be related with the coming of the Mahdi, because Mahdi will come at the end of time. We also know about the coming of the Mahdi. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in a hadith, يَتَّبَوْ دَجَّلَ مِنْ يَهُودِ أَسْبَهَانَ سَبْعُونَ أَلْفَ عَلَيْهِمُ الطَّيَالِسَةُ. Basically means that Dajjal will be followed. Now here the hadith says ittaba. Okay, ittaba doesn't mean just following him because somebody is very famous, or somebody is or following him in the sense that following his personality, liking him, not really like following and liking. There is a huge difference. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Sorry for the glare. My son, the window is open, so the sunlight is coming right on my face. When we like someone, that is different than when we follow somebody. Okay, Dajjal will not be necessarily liked, but many people will follow him. I mean, a lot of people will like him. There is no doubt about that, because he will solve a lot of the problems. For example, he will bring down rain. But there is one thing that you really like that person, right? And you follow him. For example, the Sahaba, they follow Rasulullah not because he was a prophet, not because what he said was true, but because they liked him. They loved him, in fact. They would give their life for him, for his sake. But Dajjal is not the same thing. Dajjal, if people may like him, may not like him, but they will follow him. And following him basically means whatever he will say to them, they will believe in him. Okay. I think I can probably help with the light. Let me see. Maybe I'll put it like this way. Okay, so following him and liking him, these are all two different things. And this is what the Yahud will do. As Rasulullah, he indicates in the hadith that this Yahud, they will follow him in the place Asfahan in Iran. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who also mentioned the coming of the Mahdi and things that will happen before the end of time. سأخرج من حضرموت قبل يوم القيامة تحشر الناس, that a fire is coming from Hadramaut before the day of judgment. And I made a video, actually I talked about this fire in my other video. If you want, you can take a look. Basically means that you will see supernatural things that you probably never saw before. And I mentioned in that video, when we talk about the fire coming, is actually, I mean, I referred that fire to be the meteor, coming from the sky. Those asteroids that fall on Earth. This is what I believe will happen. When Rasulullah mentioned the fire, you will see the fire coming as meteor from the sky. SubhanAllah, my video is getting brighter and brighter. Okay, I will be done inshallah soon. Rasulullah, he also mentioned before the coming of the Mahdi, there will be a fight that will take place between the Muslims. And he said that لا تقوم الساعة حتى يقتتل فئتان, that there will be a lot of casualties. يقتتل فئتان basically means there will be a lot of casualties. So the two Muslim groups will be fighting each other, and there will be فيكون بينهما مقتل عظيم, that there will be a huge casualties between these two Muslim groups. And sisters, what we see today, looks like it is going to be happening soon, that the Muslims are always on each other's neck. So these are some of the hadiths that I want to share with you, inshallah. You can, if you're new to this channel, again, consider subscribing. I'll not keep you for too long, and I will come up with some other hadiths and current events. So again, new here, consider subscribing. Leave your comment, like this video if you did, share this video, and inshallah I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.